It had been a few hours after Escargoon had become one of the Star Allies. The party had continued on for a good 4 to 5 hours afterwards. Escargoon even started to enjoy himself through this time, no longer as tense. Everyone had begun to leave now and go home because nightfall had come and even Dreamlanders needed some sleep.
Great party, guys! I had a blast despite not being able to reach the food.
Marx declared as he walked out of the castle doors to head home. Escargoon waved goodbye to Marx as Magalore Meta Knight walked to the door as well.
I would say this party has been quite fun. I hope you enjoyed it, Escargoon.
Meta Knight commented as he held Magalore's hand, offering to take him home.
We should do this again sometime, Escargoon. It was quite the pleasure getting to know you tonight.
Magalore added as he winked at Escargoon in a playful way. He proceeded to float off with Meta Knight as Escargoon waved goodbye to them as well. Escargoon watched them walk off, feeling kinda sad it was all over. He felt something tug on his suit before closing the door. It was Kirby, who looked kinda sad he had to go as well. Kirby gently said as he looked at Escargoon, his eyes filled with tears.
Don't worry, Kirby. I'll see you tomorrow. I promise.
Escargoon consoled him as he went down to Kirby's level of height. Kirby smiled and hugged him one more time before running off to his house. Escargoon sighed happily as he watched him run home.
He really is a ball of positive energy, isn't he?
He smiled as he closed the door to the front of the castle.
Well, I suppose you should go back to your room and head in for the night.
Bandanity suggested as Escargoon walked back in. Escargoon sighed lightly.
I suppose I should.
Escargoon spoke softly, sounding quite satisfied, but something didn't feel correct. Almost like something was missing from the night. Like a piece of the puzzle was missing, an important piece. I mean, he had seen everyone at the party had a great time. Even became a star ally, so what was missing? He had spent time with everyone. Except... Escargoon's eyes grew wide, realizing who he had forgotten. Dedede. He had noticed how quiet he was being, but just left him alone, and after that, he was just... gone. Escargoon nervously let his own eyes dart around a bit, before turning back to Bandanity. Bandanity noticed that Escargoon hadn't left yet, which worried him.
Escargoon? Are you okay?
Bandanity questioned, walking up to the now worried mollusk. Escargoon quickly turned around to ask a question.
Where did Dedede go during the party?
Escargoon asked desperately. Bandanity stopped to think to where the king had gone.
Well, the king is. He is. I don't know where he went.
Escargoon had begun to get more worried now. Had he been kidnapped? Or was he planning something against Kirby? Is he okay? His brain started to run wild with where he could be and what could be happening to him. Escargoon thought, if Dedede were planning something, there was only one person he would call. Escargoon began to walk to the throne room, and once he got there, looked to the buttons on the throne. The all-too-familiar buttons they used to press when they needed a monster.
I don't suggest you do that. That's for Dedede only.
Bandanity called out as he ran over, trying to stop Escargoon from trying anything. Escargoon, however, ignored that as he clicked the button. A large TV screen began to unfold and appear in front of the mollusk. Bandanity, the moment it began to appear, he ran and hid behind a pillar. He couldn't lie, it scared him a lot. The TV screen flickered and showed static for a moment before revealing the Nightmare Enterprise's most trusted salesman.
Hello there, Triple D. Oh, it's you.
CS sounded not very surprised to see the snail after so long. Escargoon looked up to the screen, somewhat expressionless.
Has Dedede called you to order any monsters?
The snail asked, as serious as his voice could make him sound.
Whoa, getting to that already? I haven't even gotten to welcome you back to Dreamland properly, you loony goon. It's been quite some time. Good to see you're doing fine and dandy.
CS examined as he spoke clearly and professionally before being interrupted by the snail once more.
Answer my question. Has he ordered any monsters from you recently?
Escargoon growled as he spoke, just wanting his answer so he could hang up. CS smirked.
Just skipping to the good part, Well, no, he hasn't ordered any since you invaded Nightmare Enterprises. Why do you ask?
CS's curiosity was piqued by this question. Escargoon looked away from the screen, his fists clenched.
What is he planning to try on his own, then?
Escargoon shuddered, only thinking about what he would try to do scared him.
He really can't do much without our assistance, to be quite honest. Without us, he's a monster owner with no monsters.
CS said matter-of-factly. Escargoon turned his head back to him fast.
He can handle himself well without you! He doesn't need your crummy monsters!
Escargoon snapped at him a bit for even making fun of Dedede at the moment. This was not a joke to Escargoon, it was serious. CS's smirk stayed on his face.
How would you know? You weren't here for 4 years. You don't know if he made it well without us, or even you.
CS inquired, looking quite devious as he spoke, obviously trying to rile Escargoon up, which sadly was working quite well.
You don't have the right to say that about me, or my king!
Escargoon barked out, getting closer to the screen angrily. CS shrugged a bit.
My point still stands. You've only been back for a day now. You do not know what he's been through for 4 years. Neither do I. But hey, who knows? It sounds like he's moved on without you.
Before CS could finish, Escargoon hung up on him by smashing his hand on the button seen on the throne. And then he was silent for a moment, before putting his hands in front of his face and allowing himself to whimper. The thought of the king moving on without him was too much for him to take. He cared about the king too much to allow that. Bandana D couldn't stand to watch him do this to himself.
Escargoon.
Bandana D walked up to him, putting a hand on his shoulder. Escargoon just ended up hugging Bandana D, crying out as he did so. He needed anyone to hold him at the moment. Of course, he would have preferred it to be the king, but a supportive friend was enough to make him feel somewhat better.
Escargoon, what he said was not true. Take it from the person who has been here for the 4 years when you were not.
Bandana D consoled the snail, stroking his back, hoping it would soothe him. Escargoon only continued to whimper.
Then where is he? Why'd he disappear, other than the fact that he doesn't want to see me?
Escargoon spoke softly in Bandana D's arms.
Escargoon, that's not even close to his thoughts on you. In fact, they are the opposite.
Bandana D spoke softly back, saying what he hoped would console him, but also the truth. Escargoon looked up at him, letting him go to speak.
What do you mean by the opposite?
He asked as he let his tears gently fall out of his eyes. Bandana D sighed and looked away for a moment before saying words that could explain everything.
It's time I tell you the truth about what he thinks of you, Escargoon.